Dear students, let us begin with the second part of the lesson on India and the Nuclear Club, a background to India's nuclear program, in which we will continue learning about India's nuclear program. On 22nd January 1947, speaking in the Constituent Assembly, Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, said, I quote, "The human spirit will prevail over the atom bomb," end quote. India was firm that a nuclear program should be peaceful and should focus on economic development. While discussing United States President Eisenhower's Atoms for Peace proposal, Nehru in the Parliament on 10th May 1954 questioned who were going to control atomic energy internationally. He stated, I quote, "We are prepared in this as in any other matters, even to limit in common with other countries our independence of action for the common good of the world. We are prepared to do that provided we are assured that it is for the common good of the world and not exercised in a partial way and not dominated over by certain countries, however good their motives," end quote. However, he also stated that his country would limit its independence of action in nuclear energy for the common good of the world. Nehru spelled out India's nuclear policy categorically at the inauguration of India's first nuclear reactor, Apsara, at Trombay near Bombay in January 1957. He stated, I quote, "No man can predict the future, but I should like to say on behalf of my government, and I think I can say with some assurance on behalf of any future government of India, that whatever might happen, whatever the circumstances, we shall never use this atomic energy for evil purposes. There is no condition attached to this assurance, because once a condition is attached, the value of such an assurance does not go very far," end quote. On 25th March 1963, while discussing the allocation of grants to the Department of Atomic Energy, Nehru maintained that it was wrong to assume that by producing a bomb, India's defense would be strengthened, or that China, by conducting a nuclear test, would become militarily stronger. Nehru stated, I quote, "I say this from the most practical point of view, apart from the moral and ethical, which are important, that it is right that we should adhere to our decision not to use atomic energy for the production of any weapons," end quote. Further, he said, on the one hand, we are asking the nuclear powers to give up their test. How can we, without showing the ultimate sincerity of what we have always said, go in for doing the very thing which we have repeatedly asked the other powers not to do? India, since its independence, has maintained that it opposes the manufacture of nuclear weapons. Both the Nehru and the Shastri governments did not support nuclear programs for military purposes. Similarly, Vikram Sarabhai, the then chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission, announced at his first press conference on 1st June 1966 that exploding an atom bomb would only be creating a paper tiger. He stressed the importance of a complete defense system for India's security, that is, developing long-range missile for delivery and radar early warning systems. He maintained that instead of a nuclear bomb, the country needs grassroots technology and a strong industrial and economic base. Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister in 1964. In the beginning, he also followed Nehru's policy. But the Chinese atomic bomb explosion in 1964 brought about a change in India's nuclear policy. India stressed security and sought to link with the disarmament of the nuclear powers. On 24th November 1964, Shastri announced that his government continued to oppose using the nuclear program for military purpose. However, unlike Nehru, he changed the country's stand on the nuclear program. Speaking in the Lok Sabha on 24th November 1964, He said, I quote, I cannot say that the present policy is deep rooted and would not be changed. An individual may have a certain static policy, but in the political field we cannot do so. Here situations alter, changes take place, and we have to mold our policies accordingly. If there is a need to amend what we have said today, then we will say, all right, let us go ahead and do so. However, he maintained that manufacturing a bomb was a danger to world peace and rejected it. In 1967, Indira Gandhi was sworn in as the Prime Minister on the death of Shastri at Tashkent, where he had gone to meet Muhammad Ayub Khan, the President of Pakistan, at the behest of the Soviet leadership of Alexei Kosygin. Indira Gandhi was also opposed to the manufacture of the nuclear bomb. China, which launched an aggression upon India in 1962, began with its first test in October 1964. Reacting to these developments, Indira Gandhi stated in the Lok Sabha on 1st March 1966 that India did not believe the Chinese explosion of a nuclear device was a sufficient reason for us to change our policy on the matter. The policy of restraint which we have adopted must continue. As Prime Minister, she also followed Nehru's policy till the early 1970s. Later, she advocated the development of a nuclear program for the nation. Indira Gandhi realized the importance of developing a nuclear program. Therefore, a peaceful nuclear test was conducted at Pokhran on 18th May 1974 to develop nuclear technology for the peaceful uses of atomic energy, like developing of mines, construction of dams and harbors. Her successor Morarji Desai under the Janata government did not want to conduct further tests. Unlike Nehru, Shastri and Desai, Indira Gandhi was more of a realist than a moralist. She understood the essential strategic and defensive dimensions of India's security needs. When Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister after the death of Indira Gandhi in 1984, he also followed the same policies as his predecessor, opposing the NPT and keeping India's nuclear option open. He proposed that only the dismantling of nuclear weapons would be the answer to proliferation. Addressing the United Nations Third Special Session of the General Assembly on disarmament on 9th June 1988, Rajiv Gandhi stated that nuclear weapons states were alone responsible for the non-nuclear states designed to possess nuclear weapons. He suggested a time-bound action plan. The action plan encompassed global disarmament by all nations, support for peaceful uses of nuclear energy, opposition to the militarization of outer space, establishment of an integral multinational verification system with the United Nations, opposition to the selective nuclear weapon free zone, and opposition to the discriminatory NPT regime. This global approach had become important to world peace. The action plan emphasized a binding commitment by all nations to eliminate nuclear weapons in stages and at the latest by the year 2010. All nuclear weapon states should work towards disarmament, work towards the common good, and establish a comprehensive global security system under the aegis of the United Nations. Later, P.V. Narasimha Rao, the then Prime Minister, tried to conduct the test but failed to do so. A.B. Vajpayee, successor of Rao, successfully conducted nuclear test in May 1998. I hope you understood about India's nuclear program. We will discuss about India's nuclear test in the next video. Thank you.